It is the Radio Misfits show, the 9 p.m. edition. Second of two streams that I personally, Pugs Moran, or I don't know, am I Toots Bergman? That's my kooky name for the day. Every Radio Misfits show, me and my partner here, James Parker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in, James Park. A little bit later every day. It's just like at some point, he's just not going to show up at all. And that'll be fine. This is what he's doing. He's breaking us in to the idea that every day he's going to show up 1 minute later. Anyway, this is the second stream that I do, Pugs Moran. First one, high noon, 12 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. Hot topics, current events, trends, hot takes, dumb takes, and rants. It's a stream of consciousness. It's 2 hours of me just going blah, 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 blah. Let's check in on the chat room. We got Al here. Hi, Al. We got Jen. Oh, it's cute, Pugs. Cute. Oh, yeah. Well, I am cute. Thank you. You know what? I don't have to. I'll just accept that. I don't have to give any story about. Hi, Whitney. Whitney's here. She says she can't stay. About to head to where? About to head to work. But hey, Whitney. Oh, and Leslie C is here. Everybody's here. All right, guys. First, while we wait for James, I'm sure he'll be along shortly. If not, that's okay. I got a lot I want to talk about today. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do. So maybe I don't need his interruptions. Let me show you this, guys. Did you see this? Now, if you are a fan, such a weird thing to say. If you are a daily listener to my High Noon show, you know that I live here. We do the show every day from the Comfort Nest Studios, high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas, one of America's toniest and most affluent bedroom communities. We're also adjacent to Love Field. I talk about that a lot because, I don't understand why people live on this block. These houses are all like $5 and $10 million, and they live on this. Not me. I'm squatting. I'm not actually. I don't own property here. But these people that do, they live right in a flight path to a major American airport. It's loud. It's terrible. So if you listen to the noon show, you know that I've been talking the last. It started in the summer. But it's pretty consistent. I don't even talk about it anymore. It's like not even a big deal. There's all kinds of weird military, I assume. I don't know. I'm not one of these Q guys. Unless you want to talk about the Hollywood Clone Factory, which is one of my favorite subjects. Anyway, not a big Q guy. But there has been ongoing military activity in this area, especially around Love Field, the immediate Love Field area now going on months. And I've been mentioning it just on Saturday night. I didn't mention it. Like I said, but this just happened Saturday. Well, Saturday night, we're sitting here with my kid, and everybody's sleeping, and all of a sudden, like 4 a.m, like low-flying attack helicopters right over the house. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I think I'm going crazy. But it's been fairly significant or consistent with these kinds of things, and it's never done any sort of significant disruption to our life. So whatever, I just figure, So, but check this out. This is something that's going around on Twitter. This is downtown Dallas just this week. Turns out. Look at these. Downtown Dallas. Three military helicopters in a row. Just flying. I don't know what the hell is going on here, folks. Actually, I do know what the hell is going on here because it's this was going around virally. People are trying to get everybody ginned up because that's what we do. We get you ginned up. What's going on in Dallas? Well, this is actually a planned defense thing. And supposedly, the Defense Department or authorities or something supposedly they had sent out like a mass text saying there's going to be military activity in the area, in the Dallas proper area. Don't be alarmed. I didn't get any such text. I don't know if you guys did, but not me. Anyway, so that's going on. And now there's something else that I want to show you. Did you guys happen to, this just came out today. It's a trailer for a new movie. And I want to watch it with you. And I want to watch it. I'm not going to interrupt it. We're just going to play the trailer for this new movie, and then we're going to discuss. So I expect you guys to pay attention to it, okay? Because if you're anything like me, you guys know who Jesse Plemons is? Jesse Plemons is a great actor. He's awesome. Friday Night Lights. If you remember Friday Night Lights, you might remember Jesse Plemons as Landry. Remember Landry, the cool kid? Well, he's a nerd, but that's why he was cool. Landry's going on Jesse Plemons to marry Kirsten Dunst, or is it Kristen Dunst? I don't know. That's so strange one that always trips me up. He's married to her, and now they're just like making movies together. And everything they're in, they're great. They are great in together, whether it's Fargo season 3, where they play a married couple, or that movie last year about there's another one of these gay cowboy movies where it was like Cowboy Times, but like there was like a gay romantic subplot. I don't remember what it was. It was boring. It was a boring movie. I tried to watch it because I liked those two, but they were in that. They both got nominated. Now they're both in this new movie, which, remember, I just showed you those helicopters flying around downtown Dallas. Very unnerving if you don't know. I didn't receive any alert from the Defense Department. They're like, oh, no, we sent it to everybody. I don't know anybody who got an alert. Nobody got an alert. Don't tell me this was planned because we noticed. These things are happening late at night. I don't know what to believe. Come with me down the Q bunny hole. Anyway, this new trailer for a new film was released today. And it is okay, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. We got James here. James is joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, 50% the handsome half, if you will, of the Radio Misfits. And he's in his Christmas sweater. Would you look at him? He's the glorious James Parker. Hi, James.
Good to see you, Pugs. Good to see you, random viewers.
So let me get you caught up because with all due respect, I just hit the ground running because I got a lot of stuff today. So what I showed first was, and we can go back and see it if you want, but let's play catch up here with the rest of the class. So I showed a viral video that was going around this evening showing, chronicling 3 United States military helicopters flying in formation through downtown Dallas in the middle of the night. Now, this caught my eye because I, on my noon show, have been talking for months now about all the military helicopters and bombers. There's all kinds of military activity going on at Love Field in the middle of the night. I've been chronicling this on the High Noon Show, and it's like, I don't know, nothing ever comes of it, so who cares? Anyway, now we have this video that's going viral. Raw News Alerts put it out. It's got 2.5 million hits in the last 2 hours, and it's a bunch of helicopters that are flying through downtown. You know what? I'm going to show it to you anyway. I'm going to show it to you, okay, James? Just so you know what we're talking about. Let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, James. So this is... Yeah, there we go. We got it. All right. So this is last night, and it's been going on for a couple of days now in downtown Dallas in the middle of the night, and residents have been complaining en masse. And here's the first viral footage of it. So this is flying north and south. Looks like it's flying towards like Reunion Arena, towards the south end. 35 towards the 35 end. Okay, so that's what people are responding to. I've been hearing them myself. I imagine that they're based at Love Field. That probably accounts for a lot of the noise because we are right in the flight path. We hear everything taking off and landing at Love Field, and I've become pretty good at being able to tell, okay, that's a Southwest jet, that's a Lear jet. You know, I can tell by the sound. So when I do hear the military jets, it's a different sound. It's like, okay, here we go again. So that's going on here in Dallas. People are freaking out about it. They shouldn't, because when called on it, when this became noticed and when 2.5 million, they put out this news release saying, well, the Defense Department set out all of these alerts on your phones. You should have gotten them on your phones. They sent them out months ago, warning you that there would be these planned military activities in the Dallas area on these particular days. James, nobody got an alert. I didn't get an alert. I don't know anybody who got an alert. So whatever.
So that's a lie that they would tell, even whether they had sent an alert or not. Hey, if it'll shut everyone up.
Right. They're doing this in the middle of the night, and now there's a piece of video going viral. They had to expect that somebody at some point might film it, because it is an oddity to have military helicopters flying in precision through a downtown American city at 3 a.m. or whatever. But yeah, they would just say, we sent an alert. And if they aren't lying, if they did actually send an alert, that's just another example of our tax dollars being funneled into a text operating company that can't do the job because nobody got alerts.
No, but that is amazing footage though, because those helicopters, 2 of them look like they were low enough to hit a building if they,
Well, they were flying. They were flying at eye level to somebody that was in a building. Somebody in one of the apartments there was pretty much at eye level with it. So that's not very high. It's not like there are 100-story skyscrapers in downtown Dallas. They top out. The biggest one is probably about 60. So that was probably about 40 floors up. That's not high. And that's why people are noticing because of the noise.
And if you are going to be the elite of the military pilot squad, you're going to have to sometimes practice on a real downtown because they just can't make replicas. They can make replicas on military bases for targets and bases and tanks and whatever. But for a downtown, major metropolitan area, sometimes you just have to actually go fly through one every once in a while. And I don't know. That's got to be really fun for the pilot. Like, man, one time when I was like 25, when I was still in the Air Force, we had to fly through like downtown, and then we had to like go fly through Houston, and
we had to fly a simulated attack sortie down Main Street in Dallas at 3 a.m. It is. I bet it's pretty cool. It beats what they're probably normally doing. Okay, so
aren't they following Glenn Beck around the government helicopter?
So the black hell, yeah, maybe that's the deal. Okay, so that happened this evening, and that's that. Now, about an hour before that happened, a new trailer dropped, a new film trailer. That's what I was about to show. Oh. It's a new film trailer. It's the first trailer from a much anticipated movie that's going to be released in April. I'm not want to say anything. I just want to play the trailer, and then we'll have a conversation about it, okay? Because and by the way, this is a big major Hollywood release. This is not these are big stars that are in it, and all that good stuff. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you here. This is the first trailer for the big Hollywood spring film, James, Civil War. Here it is.
Its army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America.
The so-called Western forces of Texas and California
have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. Blooded.
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.
All right. So if you're a fan of Ex Machina, which I am, or even 28 Days Later, which I am, that very skilled director is now going to turn his lens on the subject of civil war. James, first of all, a couple of comments. Ron Swanson as president, brilliant casting. I love Nick Offerman as president. Also, casting Pablo Escobar from Narcos as a gay photojournalist who's like is interesting casting. And then, of course, as I was saying before you joined us, Hollywood is now doing this thing where they're teaming the married couple of Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons and everything together, and everything they do is fantastic. So there you go, James. Your thoughts on the new film Civil War?
I had the same reaction that Barney had, where Texas and California are on the same side. That's stupid.
No. And I did a little research into why they did that. They did that specifically because they don't want this to turn into a MAGA versus Biden blue. This is just about different cultures in rural California and Texas joined forces. And now they overtook. So that's the story. The story is that liberal California was taken over by, there's a lot of people in California, James. A lot of people have a lot of different viewpoints.
Okay. So what made them fight then? Who are they fighting? They're fighting the Florida Republic or whatever?
Yeah, 29 states seceded. So 29 states secede, or no, 20.
Is this based on a book I haven't read?
I don't know. It's just, here's what I think. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think. One, freaking awesome. Can't wait to see it. Looks incredible. But here's the other thing I want to say about it. Hollywood getting their hands dirty. Hollywood putting it out there that this is an option for any idiot that wants to try and take down their state capital. Good for you, Hollywood. Once again, very responsible on your part. But other than that, I think it looks awesome.
I think this reeks of just Hollywood fan fiction, because I think everyone likes the idea that, boy, we've never been more divided and everything's just so politically polarized and every facet of your life is just dripping with hatred or politics or whatever.
But do you disagree with that? I mean, don't you feel that is?
I feel like,
James, look at the chat room. Barney and Byron cannot control we try not to do politics, but you get them with Adam Reyna, and people cannot control themselves. I'm amazed by it.
Right, but when you watch them, Adam and Al and Barney and all these people that argue, they still agree on like 95% of things.
No, they do not. Well, you know what? You're probably right. It's just that we don't consider all the things they agree with. You're absolutely right. You're probably right. They probably agree that, it's good to have cold, fresh drinking water. They probably agree. We
would like to have a strong economy. We would like to have wages going up. We don't want inflation going crazy. I mean, we at least give lip service to wanting to attempt to balance the budget and do something about the debt and deficit. And, we all like driving on the right-hand side of the road and, everything down in between. And there's no argument to be had there. So really there's no discussion to be had there. And there's just a negativity bias. Something that sticks in my head is they do the, the behavioral surveys where of all the things that happen to you during a day or during a week or during a month, 96% of those interactions are positive and only 4% are negative, but that's the only 4% you remember. You don't remember going to work today and getting along with Alexis and Darby and Sharon and Angela and Neil and Nick. You remember that argument you got into with your boss.
Right.
And so
you remember the negatives. It's like if you write a song and perform a song and 99 people tell you it's the greatest song ever and one person says that's freaking terrible, the one person who tells you it's terrible is going to resonate more because it's the more personal thing. We take for granted that our next breath. I say this all the time. Look, we're all here at the grace of the chaos because a 10-pound frozen chunk of shit could fall out of an airplane landing at Love Field and kill me right now as I speak. So we take so much for granted. We really do. And because we take so much for granted, we internalize and personalize the things that affect us only. And that we created something and one person out of the 100 said it sucked. We take that more personal than the 99 people who said it was great because, those 99. No, but it's the one guy. It's a part of our human narcissism. It's base ego protection. And that's why we're like that. That's what I like in therapy, because I went through a lot of ego therapy.
Well, I'm going to be the guy that reminds my Republican and Democrat friends that you two are so much alike. Stop acting like you hate each other. Stop acting like you're not two brothers and sisters from the same family. Y'all look like siblings, and y'all agree on so much stuff that I don't agree on. It really pisses me off. Because go ahead.
I love that metaphor. I love that family metaphor that we're fighting like siblings. The American people are fighting like siblings in a very wealthy family. We are fighting the way they look at the plot of Succession. That's essentially America. We have been blessed in this country with an amazing economy, with safe borders. Please. You know what I'm saying? We don't have tanks from foreign nations rolling into California every 10 years. Okay.
Yep.
So we have taken for granted a lot of these things. James, I'm watching right now on Netflix their new World War II docuseries in color. It's World War II on the front lines, and I'm watching the people of Poland. I'm watching and I'm looking at these people, and it's 1944, and they're otherwise normal people. There are women with handbags and they're not alien, is what I'm saying. Their society was civilized at some point. And I'm just watching them crawl over rubble and dead bodies in the street and bombs fall. We in America have been blessed to never have to have any kind of real opposition. So what have we done? We've turned on each other. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's really frustrating if for the few of us third party adherents to have all these issues on which Republicans and Democrats agree on so many of these things that libertarians don't agree on, and then y'all act like the other side is just beyond the pale, like, oh, they just want to kill babies, or they just want to control women's bodies, or
right. One side, it's absolutes. One side is awful and the other side is godlike, or vice versa, right? It's absolutes. There is no, most of us are in the middle, as I think it's what you're saying. I'm tired of the absolutes. All right.
Like, just like, for example, just I can rattle off like 10 things libertarians believe that neither Democrats or Republicans believe. We want all drugs to be legal, all drugs to be over the counter. Neither one of y'all believe in that. We actually would balance the budget. Neither one of y'all really believe in that. You say it when you're not the party in power, but neither one of y'all give a damn about the debt or the deficit. We would like to get rid of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. We would like to get rid of public schools, or at least kick it down to the state level. And prostitution, we would like for it to be legal everywhere, or at least decided at the most local level possible. Gambling, we like for that to be legal everywhere, or at least decided at the most local level possible. And that's just off the top of my head, just a fountain of things. Now the Republicans and Democrats agree on all these things, and there's like this tiny little thing, these tiny little like abortion and I don't know, drag shows in front of kids that they disagree on, and they act like they're the worst ever. It's like,
right.
No, y'all have so many of the same problems.
But you and I are partially complicit. I won't say responsible, but complicit in this, because there has been an entire economy created out of the idea of ginning up bullshit to keep us angry at each other. That is a big multi-billion-dollar economy that is steeped entirely in we hate these people, hate those people, and it's on both sides. I mean,
oh, no. Give it look, not to brag on us, but we transcend that crap, because not only can we get you all spun up and arguing about some of these just standard boilerplate political issues that you hear anywhere else, I can go on a hard crusade about the papyrus font. I think the papyrus font is the thing out there that if you use it in a business setting, you are embarrassing yourself, and you have no idea.
What is the papyrus font?
The papyrus font, I mean, inherently, it's not necessarily a bad font, but it has turned into, over the last 30 years of the most common man among us having access to clip art and word art from Microsoft, that this has become the font that people use just to let me know you are too damn cheap and stupid to know better when it comes to getting some sort of graphic design.
Well, that's not me, because I don't even know what it is. I'm looking through my different kinds of fonts.
Well, I invite you to go down this rabbit hole, because once you see it, you'll recognize, oh yeah, I've seen this 1,000 times. But I want you to just kind of like get real hot water and just kind of teabag in it a while, let it soak in, and then far after this show, tomorrow, the next day, weeks, months, years from now, you'll see it on a sign. You'll be like, he's right. That papyrus font is everywhere, and it's used for everything. It's used for like, oh, we have an ancient Egyptian.
I see it. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Or we have an Irish Earl Grey tea.
Yeah.
Or we have and it's it's
for anything that needs to be sort of suggested as ancient or something, like some kind of.
but it's
All
also
right.
used for like if it's like a Native American blanket sale or.
I got to be honest with you. This is not something that bothers me. This is not something I've ever noticed. And now that you've brought it to my attention, I got to say, let the kids be themselves. I
have cursed you now. Once it is pointed out, you will now see it for here going forward. Just like when it was pointed out to you that Nicolas Cage is the same dude in every movie, or Denzel Washington is the same dude in every movie. That's all you see now.
Or that everything you order at Taco Bell, regardless of its shape, size, or name, tastes the same. It's all the same.
Or look, your life is forever changed by the name Lewinsky. Your life is forever like you. There's still other people that have that name, and you hear it every once in a while. We all giggle because we all think the same thing. There's the world will forever be changed by someone saying, "What would you like?" I would like one margarita. Oh, like the song, one margarita.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Imagine all the little kids running around out there named Kanye. I mean, they, now they're gonna, because I don't think that dude's story is done being written. I think in the next 5 years, he's potentially going to do something even crazier. So, but there are a bunch of kids running around named Kanye. I say that because there was a kid at the store over the weekend named Kanye, and his mom was looking for him in the Kroger, and my kid goes, anyway, never mind. We learned about people naming kids dumb things. What do you got? You got anything? Because I do have something, but I'm willing to lay back and let you dance for a while.
Go first if you don't mind.
Okay. So I want to talk about Jonathan Major. You following the Jonathan Major story?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with who Jonathan Major is?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Jonathan Major is one of the hottest actors in Hollywood. Here, I'll pull up a picture of him just so that everybody can know. Because you're right. I mean, he's not a household name yet, but you'll know him the minute I show him to you. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, that dude. Very highly regarded young black actor in Hollywood. Here he is, Jonathan Major. He's in the new Rocky movies, right? He's not a, I don't know who he is. I don't know. I don't see the new Rocky movies. I should, but he's this guy. All right. I think he was nominated. Boom. He was nominated, I think, a couple of years ago for Judas and the Black Messiah. He's Kang. He's Kang in the Marvel movies. I mean, he's a very hot A-list, rising, bankable young actor. There he is from the Rocky movies. What else is he in? I don't know. You recognize him, James?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I've seen any of those.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, he's around and he's a name and he's making the news. Well, for the last 8 months, because he's in one of these situations, James. Now, this is going to be a delicate subject. I know that I screamed at you for bordering on misogyny last night, so I may dip a toe in there myself in the view of some people hearing what I'm about to say. But Jonathan Major is on trial in New York because back in March of last year, he was on a date with his girlfriend, and they got into a fight and they separated from each other. And the next day she called the police and said that he beat her up, and he was arrested and charged, all this good stuff. Now, that's the story that we all had to deal with for about 8 months before this thing went to trial, before evidence was introduced. But it was the story of the Jane Doe with the big A-list Hollywood actor. He went nuts and beat her up in the back of an Uber X, and all this. And that's the story. That's all we had to go on. So as the trial's been going on now, we learn a lot more about this situation. Like we learned there's texts that have been released between the two of them. There is audio of fights. It got to the point in this relationship where this woman was recording the fights. James, what's that a sign of?
She sees a court case in the future.
Yeah, she does. She's setting the boy up for something. She's collecting evidence in case she needs it.
You want me to pull his mugshot up over here?
Yeah, go ahead. Pull his mugshot up because we're going to talk about the. Oh, that's not his mugshot.
Oh,
that was just another one of the pictures that I just minimized. So get rid of it. All right, that's him. That's Jonathan Major. So here's what happened in the story. Okay, this is not being disputed. This is in the legal course of events. They went out on the way back. They were in the back seat of the Uber, and he got a text from another girl. Another girl saying, "Oh, baby, I can't wait to see you." This girl, he was with, the girl he was with, she saw that. She said, "Let me see the phone." He said, "That's nothing, baby. It's nothing." And she took the phone from him. And then she started going off and, screaming at him and, and they're having this row in the back seat of the car. Now, here's what I don't get, because the story that I told you, he beat her up in the back of a car and then he got arrested the next day. Well, did the police not talk to the Uber driver before they arrested him? Because the Uber driver is now testifying that Jonathan Major did nothing and that the woman is the one who was the aggressor, that she was very, very drunk and that Jonathan Major was sober. Okay, so that's what we know. So here's what happens. They get into the fight. They separate. He says his side of the story is, look, man, she was acting nuts and I told her to get out of the Uber. She wouldn't get out of the Uber, so I did. And then she followed me and I just ran. I ditched her. I didn't see her again. The next morning, I wake up and I open up my front door and I see her passed out, laying there on the stoop like she'd been there all night. Yeah. This is the story. This is Jonathan Major's story.
Okay.
So he calls 911. Why? Because he's going to document this shit because she's passed out on his front. He calls 911. He says, my girlfriend, we broke up last night and now she's passed out. I can't have this. I'm Jonathan Major. I'm in the Marvel universe, So the police come over and there's body cam of that now that's been released because we saw that. So here's what happened. So he claims that he ran away from her. He was able to ditch her on that night. And then she met up with some strangers and went out and partied all night. That's how traumatized she was by it. She met up with strangers and she went out and partied. And she came home wasted. She didn't know where to go. So she went back to, the place where she was staying with him and she passed out on his front, right? She goes to the hospital. The police determined that she was mentally in need of a checkup. So they send her to Bellevue, right? Where she then says, he beat me up and that's why I was laying there. We had a fight last night. She files charges. He gets arrested. He loses his representation. He loses Endeavor was the management company that had him because he's a freaking A-lister on the rise and they're the biggest in the they dropped him. He lost. He had to walk off a couple of films to deal with this whole thing. And today, James, there is video of the incident. We get to see the whole incident.
Wait, the part inside the car?
We get to see, what somebody has done, and I think it was TMZ. They have taken all of the New York City traffic cams and closed circuit TV cams, and they've pieced it together so that we can watch Jonathan Major brutally attack her, because that's what she claimed. She claimed that she was beat up in the back of the car. She even had like little cuts and a broken finger and all that stuff, which, by the way, he claims she got because she disappeared for 8 hours, went on a bender, and then passed out on my front step. She probably fell down drunk and did all, you know what I mean? But she's blaming it on him. So you want to watch the video? Of course you do. All right. So we're going to break it down. This is the video that was in court today. Now, look, I am not saying that, the Me Too thing is BS. What I'm saying is there's a lot of bad women out there too, that not every man, that we need to really look at these things before we go off and try and destroy a man's career. Because this video does not look good for the female side of things. She looks like, and by the way, hold on. There's also audio of a fight they had, and I want to play that as well. But first, let's watch the video, okay? So this is... share, is it shared? It is. Okay. We'll try and make it big. All right. Let's see. How does that look on the screen? Can we get rid of that? We'll get rid of the Radio Misfits thing. Maybe that'll make it a little bigger.
Oh, the caption down there?
Yeah. Nope, that didn't do anything. What if we did this? I know there's a way to make... There we go. Okay, made it a little bigger. All right, here we go.
Hey, I walk in full screen it like this, like,
there you go. That's fine. Perfect. Like that. Love it.
You want me to take the chat window off?
I don't know.
All right, it's probably fine.
All right, so there's the Uber. Now he's asking her to leave. He's like, come on, we're done. Forget it. Okay, we're broken up. I want to go home. I'm going to go home. You get out here. And she won't get out. This is according to the testimony of the Uber driver. So now he's getting out. He's like, fine, then I'll get out. Take her home. He says to the Uber driver. She tries to follow him. What we're seeing here is him trying to exit the car without her climbing on him. All right, so now they're both out. She's still following him. He's exiting his Uber, according to the Uber driver. Now they're on the corner.
He's running away from her. Oh, he picks her up and tries to put her back in. Look at that.
Yes, because she's following him. Now that's sus, right? You can say, well, he shouldn't have put his hands on her, but the Uber driver then testified that she was swinging at him and she had stolen his phone. She had stolen his property and was assaulting him. According to the Uber driver, she was very drunk. And by the way, commit that to memory because it comes up again and again. Text messages, recorded fights. She's apparently a drunk. And if you've ever dated a drunk girl, especially a sloppy drunk girl, you know how infuriating it can be. So here, we'll continue. Now he's trying to put her back in the car. And there's no sound here. He's saying, no, I'm leaving. You're staying here. And he tells the driver, take her home. And she jumps out. Now she's following him. Now you'll see them on the corner here. Okay. She is trying to follow him. He is trying to remove himself from the toxic situation. And this woman who was abused by him, so she claims in the police report, is not allowing him to leave. He shoves her here, and now he's running. Here we go, James. Watch this. This is insane. There he goes. He's running. And she's chasing him. Imagine you're a spectator and you see this big buff black guy running and some white woman in leather pants chasing him. Don't you think that black guy took her purse? Don't you think that there is something other going on than this crazy woman is chasing him out of love or whatever? Look at them. Here they go. They're still chasing. She's chasing him. He's running home. He's running home to lock the door behind him. But he brutally beat her and, she felt trapped and all that stuff. Look at him. Now he's running. Okay, so I think this is his apartment.
This is like an episode of Benny Hill.
Yeah, I know. Look at her, though. Check her out. She doesn't have the cardio that he does. He trained for 3 Creed movies. He's got great cardio. Not her. She's walking now.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
All right, so now this is outside his apartment. This is where the story gets weird. He's home. He's home. Door's locked. She's ringing the doorbell. He's not letting her in. These are some other people who I guess are gathered around the entrance to his apartment. And by the way, he lives in a penthouse apartment, so it's probably a nice apartment building. Nice. So see her here. She's not being allowed into the building. She's now talking with these strangers. James, she ends up hooking up with these strangers and partying with them in Soho for until the bars close or whatever. So let's watch this. Hold on. It is funny, though, because Jonathan Major does come walking by one more time. And he's like, yeah, okay, you got her. She's safe. Good. I'm leaving. So the guy with backwards baseball cap, he's going to make a play on her. He's like, yeah, why don't you just come out and hang out with us? And then we'll drop you back here later tonight, and you can see how things are. Just give it time to cool down. All right, here he comes. Here he comes. I know she's like, gang, gang, gang. And he's like, she good? She good? Okay. All right, I'm going. Leave her. And now she is choosing to go out for the rest of the night without him. Here's again now. Is she still following him? He's like, leave me alone. Look, here she comes. All right. There you have it, James. So that's what the jury saw today. And they're going to have to try and determine whether or not he brutalized her. And whether or not, look, I feel bad for him because his name has been raked through the coals all summer long. Thoughts?
What line does he get into, or what form does he fill out to get his reputation back? I always love that line.
Yeah.
I always love the fact that the real lesson here is he shouldn't have been walked off of 2 of his films over flimsy allegations without, do we have to wait until he's gone through a trial before we are allowed to make a decision, just ethically speaking, or does there have to be I've just a shred of evidence?
I think that we do. But I think moving forward, there are a couple of things that we can change. We can make both names anonymous. Instead of just making the celebrity who sells the headlines for the newspapers the only person that's named, because we protect Jane Doe, Now, I'm not suggesting that we make the accusers go public because I think that's unfair. But if we're not going to make the accusers go public, we certainly shouldn't be having the accused names on headlines or newspapers from coast to coast. It's just not fair. That's absurd. The second thing, well, go ahead, James. Your thoughts on that?
Well, no, look, we've covered this ground before. I love that solution. I also love the idea that for the people who just blatantly did a false accusation, there should be penalties for them. And some jurisdictions have like little lame penalties, like filing a false police report. I mean, for real penalties, like if you accuse a guy of rape and you've ruined his life and his marriage and his kids and his whole future, and it turns out he was in a different state on the night you claim it happened, there should be serious. We don't take that serious. And the other point is, well, it doesn't matter. We've come up with all these solutions before. We're not learning the lesson. We love torching dudes at first chance we get. And that's the scary part about the Me Too thing is we're all waiting for this fever pitch to put guys on a witch's stake, and it's not really calming down like we hoped it would.
I would like to see more of a sincere criticism of the women who are exposed to me. It's not just because the justice system is corrupt and it's a man's world and all that stuff. When these cases, I mean, if you're trying to make me believe that 100% of all the women who bring these charges against these men are victims, then I'm going to call you an idiot, because it's obvious to me that many of these women are just trying to cash checks. They're just trying to whatever they're doing to make a little bit of money. That's what this is. Now, when these women do this, and this is why I want the Me Too movement to be harder on these women. When these women do it, all it does is make it harder on actual victims. And I 100% believe that there are a lot of predator men out there who over the years have been taking advantage of their position, and they've been doing things that they need to be called out on it. But it makes it harder to get the actual, it's harder to really help the actual victims when you've got fakers clouding every situation. Because now here's just another woman who felt, and by the way, he was moving on. He's now with Megan Good. Jonathan Major is with Megan Good, which is a major upgrade. Megan Good is a fantastic looking young actress. And she's been in court every single day, sitting right there. And that's got to drive this girl nuts. Here, let me read to you what the driver of the car says. The only other person that was there for this thing when it went down. Zuckerman, who's the attorney, cited the testimonies from Jabari and Naveed Sawar, the driver of the car in which the alleged incident occurred.
Say he was the driver of the car.
Yeah, you kind of knew that. With the alleged incident occurred. The lawyer argued the testimonies did not show Majors had the legal requisite intent to harass, annoy, threaten, or alarm Jabari. In Jabari's testimony, Jabari's the girl. Jabari is the woman. In Jabari's testimony last week, she said that Majors was trying to keep her out of his way and trying to make me stay in the car during the alleged assault. On Monday, the driver, Sawar, testified that Majors opened the car door trying to get rid of Jabari. Majors said, "Leave me alone. I want to go. I have to go." Majors was not doing anything. This is the driver of the car. Jabari was doing everything. She was extremely intoxicated. Okay, so that's from the only witness. Oh, but he's a man, James. Of course he's going to say, come on.
Believe all women go.
Listen to all women. Listen to all women. It's not believe all women, because if you believe all women, then we're just saying we don't believe the men who say they didn't do anything. And that's not progress. That's persecution. So go ahead. Do you have anything here? Because I want to give you some more. I want to listen to the fight. Don't you want to listen to the audio of them fighting?
Is this recorded on the phone?
No, this is recorded in the room. Like, apparently they were screaming at each other in the room. And guess why this fight occurred? Because he was apparently studying a script and working. And she came home at like 2 a.m, drunk off her ass. And he's angry again. Again, I go back to, I've dated women with drinking problems. I've dated women with drug problems. They are a handful. They're a lot of fun in the short term, but you don't want to get into a relationship with them. All right, let me see if we can find this. James, have you ever dated a completely screwed up woman just because it was so much fun in the moment?
Yeah, Nan, you introduced me to her.
Oh, no, did I?
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Sorry.
bud. Thanks a lot.
I don't know.
I thought it would be fun, but it ended up I shouldn't have ever even messed with any of that.
Okay, here's so we'll look at these text messages, but also let's listen. Here, let me see if we can get this. Several disturbing text messages and an audio recording from Jonathan Majors' ongoing trial for alleged assault have been made public by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The newly released evidence, which was shown in court this week, is between Majors and his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari, who accused him of assaulting her in the backseat of a car in March. The evidence includes text messages in which Majors threatened to kill himself and an audio recording of an argument in which Majors told Jabari she needed to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
What the hell?
Well, right. See, but completely out of context. Yeah, that sounds strange. But knowing the context of what he was telling her to straighten up because she's a sloppy drunk. That's what and we'll get to that. But yeah, this is that's a little out of context. And he also is a bit full of himself, but most actors are. All right, let's listen to.
Wait, so audio. Grace Jabari, I'm looking her up.
Right.
She's been in some stuff too.
Yeah, she's mostly a choreographer, but yeah, she has done acting as well.
She has credits for Barbie, the new Mission Impossible that came out this year. Let's see, and then she was on the crew for Ant-Man and
Wasp. She was probably the choreographer for those things.
Oh, okay.
That means she's in the film. Like she's just one of the people dancing. You know, she's one of the dancing Barbies, if you will.
Okay.
All right, let me share this with you now. This is a fight between the two of them. Again, a little context on this fight. He is studying. He is working for a role, and she has come home drunk again, and he is really pissed about it because her sloppiness is now. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, and she knows she's got a movie star, so she didn't want to give that up. So here we go.
Period. This is actually period. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you really though, baby? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan?
All right, do you get that so far? He said, how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan? So he seems to be suggesting to her that, they are in a serious relationship and that he has talked to her before about, what he's trying to accomplish in life and what he's trying to do. And there is no room to be a sloppy, drunk party girl in that world. That's what I take from that. James, anything else?
No, that's exactly what you should take. It sounds like they have a master plan. We're going to go to bed early and we're going to get up early. We're going to follow a schedule. We're going to work out 3 times a week. We're going to do cardio. We're going to do some intermittent fasting.
Yeah, his career is booming. So he's got to strike now and he's got to stay disciplined, I think is what I'm getting.
Right. And I'm going to spend 1 hour a day reading scripts. 1 hour a day just dedicated to reading scripts until I find the next one. And
all right, let's
go. My other observation is this woman's 30 and he's 34. And that is right on that cusp of it's not cool to party anymore. Not party like this.
Mm-hmm.
Not party in a way that it's supposedly you treat it like it's more important than your career. You're supposed to be turning a corner like Jonathan Majors is turning, and she's just not turning it with him.
Well, he also considers himself, and always has, he considers himself a very serious actor. I mean, he's like Juilliard trained and, all of this stuff. Like he's got the chops, and the critics all think that he's like great. Like I said, he's 34. He's only been in like 2 movies anybody's seen. He's already been nominated for an Oscar, right? So he's got something. Let's continue on with this fight because he's trying to lecture her about how she's drunk and sloppy again. And this cannot stand. This cannot go on. Let's listen.
I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is going to be out of commission. You know what I mean?
All right. Did you hear what he said there? He said, I would like to get to a point where your friends know. He's saying he wants to get to a point where his friends or her friends that she's out partying with are going to be more responsible and go, you know what? She shouldn't be out here partying. Because, she's going to make Jonathan look bad, and this can't be good for him. That's kind of what he's saying. I want to get to the point where your friends are helping me. They should know better than to let you come home like this.
So this is a responsible person talking to an irresponsible person. Must be frustrating.
In a relationship that's going down the tubes.
Yeah, I won't. Like,
No. Do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right?
All right, so see, he's basically telling her he wants her to behave proper. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with a party girl. And that's at least that's what I got from. Did you get anything different from that? I mean, in the context of how he's lecturing her, I took it as that. In the Black community, those are two very elegant, sophisticated women. They are considered to be very proper ladies.
I think it's almost sweet that he sees her as the potential sidekick and life partner that he's looking for.
Right? He seems to be giving. Now, women might say, well, he's being controlling. Well, he knows what he wants, and she can leave, and maybe it won't work out. That's fine.
He's not being controlling. He's being disciplined. He's being responsible. That comes off as controlling to irresponsible people, maybe.
And he's also telling her exactly what he wants in a partner. You know, this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for, and this is your opportunity because I do love you and I see you as having potential. I think this is, I don't know. Some people are saying this sounds bad for him. I don't see it as all that bad.
Not really. No.
He's at home working and she comes home sloppy drunk. I get why he's probably irritated.
If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm not saying I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation.
All right, so now a little narcissistic there, but he's an actor, and he really is at the top of his game, and he really is doing, he's at a place now where he's doing scripts of shit that he wants to do. He's getting his messages out there, and I don't know what he's doing in his community and all that. But he's a narcissistic actor. So, Tom Cruise has probably said very similar things in fights with girlfriends. Not that he's Tom Cruise yet, but I can forgive that kind of grandiose narcissism when you're in a fight with a girlfriend, James.
I'm a great man doing great things. Oh God, these people, they just love smelling their own farts, man.
They really do.
I'm changing doing great things for my culture and the world.
They're the worst. They're the actors. They're the worst, man. They're so self-important.
Look, like if Nikolai Tesla had not been born, the concept of radio probably would have emerged another 10, 15 years later, which means some of these other broadcast technologies would have emerged a little bit later, and there would have been some sort of ripple consequence. Humanity would have gone on, but he definitely drove things forward and made a difference in his own time. But if an actor isn't there to play, what is it? Kang.
Somebody else
would have stepped up to play Kang, and the Marvel franchise would have gone on without a hitch, and no one would have ever known the damn difference.
Yeah, the actors are the worst. So I said they're just you can't deal with them. I went to a college filled. The other thing that my college was known for was its acting school, and it was just the worst. People who want to be actors and theater people for a living, they're the worst. All right, let's continue. There's more of this fight.
The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do
She
that.
came home drunk the previous night too.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, 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 blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine, I can take that.
All right, that's it. Everybody. That's all we got from the argument. But He doesn't sound to me like an out of control, demonstrative monster. He sounds like a boyfriend who loves a woman with a drinking problem and he's fed up with it.
Was he the one who recorded that?
No. I assumed it was her, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know.
Well, because if he recorded it, then we have to assume he was on his best behavior because he knew he was being recorded.
You're
If
right.
she
You're absolutely
recorded that totally exonerates him.
Right. And so if she recorded it, that's
right.
Why would she make it public? Like, because it doesn't help her side at all. I don't know. Maybe it was him. Here, now let's take a look at some of the text messages, okay? Because she said, oh, he was sending me text messages. He was saying he wanted to kill himself and all that.
Yeah.
Let's look at that in context, okay? Because no,
I feel you, man.
I think all these things, especially when we're talking about just completely branding a young, up-and-coming A-list black actor as being someone who beats up white women, let's get into the weeds, okay? Let's make sure we check all the boxes before we do that. Here, I want to show you the texts. Hold on, is that it? Okay, here we go. Let's look at these text messages, and I'll read them to you. Boom. Okay. Can you guys read that? Or does it look all scrambled? Looks scrambled to me.
No, I can read it.
Here's what he says. He says, it's just fake, and I fear you have no perspective of what could happen if you were to go to the hospital. Now, this is about another incident where something happened. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. So this was entered into evidence on her part of him having a history of beating her up, and she said that there was a story where he hit her and she hurt her head, and she wouldn't go to the house. She wanted to go to the hospital, and he wouldn't let her. Okay, so that's what she's claiming. So here's the text messages. She says to that, I will tell the doctor I bumped my head if I go. I'm going to give it one more day, but I can't sleep and I need some stronger painkillers. That's all. Why would I want to tell them what really happened when it's clear I want to be with you? So we don't know what this incident is about. We don't know. All we know is that it doesn't seem to be all that upsetting to her, right? Because she's saying, I want to be with you. Now, are we supposed to chalk that up to the victim Stockholm syndrome? She doesn't know what she wants. I don't know. Seems like she knows. Seems like she's in a relationship here where she wants to be in it.
So the suspicious part about that is when she says, why would I want to tell them what really happened when it's clear I want to be with you? What happened?
Well, right. That's the suspicious part. And our mind goes to all kinds of things, but we don't have any context. We don't know what that's about. We don't know what really happened. We're leaping to, he obviously jacked her in the head, but
well, he could have hit her in the head. He
could have been goofing around. It could have been accidental. We don't have that context. All we have is he's afraid. She goes to the hospital and says my boyfriend hit me in the head. We were play wrestling or what? You know what I mean?
Well, he could have just opened the cabinet to get a coffee mug and she ran into it.
Could have been. We don't have any context. That's not enough to convict him is all I'm saying. It goes on. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just noting my passion for this subject. He goes on to say, I feel like you want to be together as in to not embarrass yourself for everything that you've said to your friends and family. So he's saying to her, I think you're just in this relationship because you've told all your friends that you're in this relationship. He goes on to say, last night I considered killing myself versus coming home. Now, that's, I think, an actor being dramatic. He's saying, I didn't want to come home to you last night. I would have rather killed myself. I don't think that's really like a depressed person threatening serious suicide. That sounds like an actor being. I mean, what do you think of that line?
I think that falls under the
hyperbolic actory.
The category of speech where you don't actually mean what you say. You're just trying to say something to hurt the other person or at least get their attention.
Yeah, it's the I'm gonna kill you if you eat the last piece of pizza. It's that. You're not really gonna kill him over that, but it's, and he's an actor and he's being hyperbolic and he's dramatic. Last night I considered killing myself versus coming home. You said, and he goes on to say, you said you needed love last night, and I put my feelings aside and I tried to give you that. I need love too. Or maybe I'm such a monster and horrible man that I don't deserve it and should just kill myself. This way of existence is miserable. I feel like you want. All right, then he goes on. This way of existence is miserable. I just want to die. I think he's being overdramatic. She says, I will not go to the doctor if you don't feel safe with me doing so or don't trust me to. I promise I would never mention you, but I understand your fear. Mention you. Like, she's not saying, I promise I will never tell them that I was hit by my boyfriend. She's saying, I wouldn't mention you, Jonathan Major, the actor. Like, is he just afraid of being dragged? I don't know. He goes on to say, you can't reject love if there is no real love. It's just lip service. I gave you love last night. And this morning, before I got out of bed, when you got up and you were not full of love at all, I didn't feel it at all. You could have just given me a hug or walked close to me or asked me if you could give me a hug, not the other way around. It works both ways. I will probably mill myself. It's not really, I think he means kill myself. I will
They're next to each other. Yeah.
I will probably kill myself. It's not really contemplating anymore. He's a dramatic bitch, but I think we knew that.
Well, I don't understand how he can kill himself when the whole world depends on his important work.
Right. No, but this is in a relationship with a woman. He's being super dramatic. And this is what actors are, man. I'm a monster, a horrible man, not capable of love. I am killing myself soon. I've already put things in motion. And then here's the response he was looking for. This is why people say that. They want the response. Here's what he gets back from her. Jonathan, you can't say this. I'm going to have to call someone. I'm sorry for not hugging you this morning. I really am. I was sleepy and disoriented by the fact you thought I would break your necklace. See, again, context. I have no idea what that's about. I love you so much, obviously. What do you mean you've put this in motion? Oh, Jesus. You have a family, Jonathan, a mother, a daughter. What would Ella do without you? Don't do this to her. Don't even think these thoughts. And that ends it. All right. So they had an emotional, passionate, couples going through breakups. They do all kinds of stupid shit. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I don't think that he's a dangerous man who beat up his girlfriend in the backseat of an Uber because he's a man who isn't responsible, who can't be held responsible. That's bullshit. This is a weird actor dude who was in a bad relationship with a toxic party girl. And this is where we are.
I think he's pretty crazy, but she's clearly the crazier one.
Well, yeah, look, he's an actor. We start from a position of he's a piece of shit because he's an actor. I have been clear on this, James. I think that all actors and actors, I have dated actresses. They are the worst. James, did you ever hear my story about trying to find a parking space while going to Buddy Guy's Legends? All right. So I'm going out with Trista. That was her name. She was an actress. We were in college. And we were going to Buddy Guy's Legends. We were going to meet up with some friends there. Buddy Guy's Legends is a blues bar in Chicago that Buddy Guy owns. And I couldn't find a parking spot, James. And I was getting a little frustrated. I'm driving around and I'm like, where the hell? Oh, I can't find. And then I look out of the corner of my eye and Trista's crying. She had manipulated her emotions to connect with me and my frustrations over not fine. This is what she told me. She used it as an acting exercise to make herself start crying. And it was like real emotion. So she was a basket case for the next 45 minutes because I'm sorry, sometimes when I tap into something, I was like, oh God, I can't date people like you. That's my looking for parking at a Buddy Guy show story.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I know, isn't that obnoxious? She was really cute too, which sucked that she was just so difficult to be around. Actresses.
Well, we have something wrong with us too. Anybody who is on this side of the microphone or camera in showbiz in any capacity, we all have a little bit of a problem of vanity. And it's not that we're bad people. It's just It just takes a pair to want to get behind a microphone with the intent that thousands of people are going to want to hear what I have to say. You know,
Well, yeah, there's a natural born narcissism to the idea that I have something that people need to hear. That you can't escape that. That just, I mean, we're insignificant as humans. There's billions of us on this planet. Why is my voice important that I need thousands of people to hang on my every word? Yeah, I mean, we're broken. Absolutely.
yeah, I've told the story before how I was shocked to learn that Americans' number one fear is public speaking. Number two is death. So people would rather die than be a public speaker. And I'm like, that sounds like a great job. That's kind of what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
You know, I remember going to church and being like, I could do a better sermon than the preacher, or going to like being in class, be like, I could give a better lesson than this teacher. Going to an assembly, it's like, I could tell better jokes than this idiot. You know, I always wanted to be on the stage, and I didn't know that all the 1,000 people around me, that was their worst fear.
Dude, you know what I think about a lot now? I wish maybe if I was raised in a rural community instead of a big city major media market where that was front and center, dude, I'd probably be a really successful evangelist. Like I would be up there. Seriously, I always think about that because Sam Kinison was a really successful evangelist. He was a successful enough evangelist. He made enough money that he was able to go at 30 years old. I'm gonna go do comedy. I'm gonna go move out to California and live off my evangelist money and give this comedy thing a shot. And he did. I think I'd have been good at that.
Well, I do like the idea of starting a cult,
Yeah.
but also really the cult is just a stepping stone to having a good, solid compound. I've always been drawn to the compound life. Compound living has so many natural draws.
Sure.
And I mean, it's not just in the immediate term. Like when you see The Walking Dead, who survive best? Those who compounded the best.
I don't know that I want your vision of the rural compound sort of, it's a little too hippie commune for me. I don't know about that. But I do understand that because I'm a big fan of living in the apartment building. The standalone big apartment building where it's you and like 500 neighbors and there's a store in the building.
No,
and
your
you're running-
idea, the northeastern or northern Yankee idea of a compound is still noble. It's the compound you see in The Godfather, where there's a wall that's going around this big house with the little garden area and some guys with guns standing a post.
Sure, you've got to be extremely wealthy to have a compound in the north. Whereas in the south, I don't know. I think you just need to inherit some land. And then you got yourself a little compound. I do like the idea of a cult leader, though. I do like the idea of just like handpicking about 2,000 people that I can get along with and going, let's just move away from everybody. Let's just go buy some land in Central Texas and start our own community.
And it's embarrassing how similar the psychosis of a cult leader is to that of a talk radio host or just anyone in showbiz. Again, like, hey, I want to pick out 2,000 amazing people, and I want y'all to hear me talk, and then maybe play a little guitar, maybe sing, maybe try out the wife every once in a while.
Yes. Yeah, just like cult leaders, all radio DJs have bands that you can see on Friday night. Come on down to the Rusty Whistle. Me and my band, the morning show band, will be out there.
There's a lot of. I'm going to be sitting in with this. Yeah, this. I don't know.
Well, it's not just the hosts themselves. You've touched on a really interesting subject. It's not just the radio hosts themselves, or it's the fans. It's the fans of talk radio hosts in their insane passion, and not even talk radio hosts. You go back to Howard Stern, go back to Russ Martin, hell, go back to the 105.3 fans in general. That was like a cult. Those people were fanatical. those people, and we used to be like, because guys like you and me and Kelly, we were inside looking out, going, these shows are not that good. Like these radio shows on this station are not that good to elicit this kind of unbalanced response. So it is very cult-like, and it's because of the constant repetition every day. It's a habit. We become a part of their lives. I get that.
All right, we're running out of time here.
We ran out 14 minutes ago, but go ahead.
Well, dude. All right, so let me give you the trivia of the day.
Oh.
You know of the country that's kind of floating out there by Australia. It's Australia's goofy first cousin with a similar accent. What's it called?
New Zealand.
Where, Pugs? Where, oh, where is Old Zealand?
Wales.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Well, I figured it had to come from somewhere in that part of the world. It wasn't going to come from,
Well,
Pennsylvania.
there's a couple places in Europe named Zealand. One of them's in Denmark. There's another smaller one, but the one it was named after, New Zealand was named after, is a province of Dutch origin. Our friends in the Netherlands have a province called Zeeland, and that's the one it was named after because New Zealand was originally a Dutch colony.
Yeah, if I had thought about that, I probably would have. That sounds like it sounds like a Viking kind of the Z, the E, the A. Yeah, it's not British.
I guess so.
I was going Celtic maybe with the strange. I don't know.
Maybe, but this is Dutch East India Company of origin. It's one of their stains on the world.
All right, very good. All right, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
I got nothing. All right, he's James. I'm Pugs. We're out of here. See you tomorrow at noon. Bye, everybody.